We have a bold plan for today, and this will be, or I think, in my opinion, our biggest expansion so far. So we have this area where we have our farming community, and they are growing. So we are bringing more people to this area, and I want to keep the same style for the house and for this village. And I'll expand the suburb in there as well, just to make that happen. And I think that's a good thing to have that road going along the highway and then the ramp in there as well. So I think that's common to see, to be honest. And I think with the work I'm doing here with all the pedestrian pathways, it's it's looking pretty good. I think I've been saying that a lot lately, but I'm really happy how this city is turning out and how everything is coming together at this point. And I think this is working really, really well. As you can see, I made some connections there just to give them as much options for walking as possible. There's one thing though that I still haven't done and that I don't know how I'm doing it, which is creating a way for people to cross the highway by foot instead of having to go all the way around that. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it, or if you have any ideas, just let me know, and we can work on that together. So here I will expand that suburb, making sure that's nice and neat and looking good there. And I just like how we can shape those the suburbs with the taking consideration the roads around there. And this looks so nice when we look at all the suburbs that we have. I don't know why, just one of those things that I like to see in the game. And I'm expanding this bus line as well. I've added a couple of buses of camera in there just to make sure that we had enough for this area to grow a little bit more. And here I am adding the new residential house and a few commercial as well. As you can see, we need a few residential, some commercial, and a little bit of industrial as well. So this area was mainly keeping that small community, so just a few shops and plenty of low residential in there as well. And then I've started detailing this area with a lot of trees and just around all those pathways and looking for the space between the house, because you always leave that space, and sometimes we use that to put down some pathways. Sometimes, like this one, is just nice to have the trees in there. And as this is what should be a more remote area, which is turning out to be not so remote anymore as we build more and more the city, I think it's nice to have more green around this area as well. So I took a look around about for all services that we have, and I put down some of the buildings that we needed. And here I think it's the main thing for this episode, other than the whole expansion thing, which we are still doing. This is not the end of the expansion, it's not just that small area. But I'm putting down the zoo in the city. And oh, this, first of all, I underestimated the size of the buildings that go in the zoo. Like, they are huge, and I really didn't expect them to be so big as that, to be honest. So I think this was the whole area that I initially thought, and I thought, well, that's a lot of space in there, and this should be enough, right? But no, when I put down the buildings, like I put 2 buildings and it was like already cluttered and was full. So what I try to do here is we got up to the second level on the zoo, and so you see that I'll put down these first new buildings, and then I'll come back later to it when we get a new level. And so what I actually end up doing, I increase the size of the zoo as well. So I expanded how it was the size of that I have initially thought for that. But then again, in here, I'm expanding this area, giving another connection for the services area, because that's gonna be the place where we expand. And here I put down this nice little statue, which I forgot the name now. But the reason that I've done that is because I'm aiming for the space elevator, and that's one of the buildings required so you can build a space elevator when you reach 75,000. This is another one, and what I like about this building is that we can do this, put the roads just inside the building. Obviously you have to use the mods, you have to be able to use move it and all that stuff, so you can actually turn on the anarchy mode and add the road inside the building. But what I did there, I put down a bus stop just inside that building, and like I really like that. I don't know why, but I think it looks so good. So I'm doing the initial layout here. The way I go about this is just looking at what really looks good, what makes sense, what I think won't cause a lot of traffic. So especially on those avenues, I always try to leave like usually 20 units spacing between junctions, but 15 is all right. So you see that I have like 16, 17 for some of these junctions that we have in here. And then I go for the mobility, so looking at ways that we can improve how pedestrians walk across the city and access different areas without having to use their cars. So that's the second step there. Sometimes I do it a little bit later as well, just if I feel that I missed something. But I like when we are at this state to start working on that, because everything's clean and I can clearly see what I'm doing there. So that's the goal there. And after I finish that, then I start working on the actual zoning. So thinking about, well, where we have more noise pollution. I'm taking a look here at the public transport as well, doing that even before I do the zoning. I don't do always before the zoning, because sometimes it's important for you to understand where are your like residential and commercial areas. But in this area, I thought, well, this is pretty easy. I have an idea on how this is gonna play out, and I did that first. So now for the zoning, I'm also doing that transition that we were doing at the top left of the screen, and I'm bringing that to the right side so it blends with that farming area as well. But just next to that building, that again, I forgot the name of that building, but that's one building from the game, I add more high density zones in there, because I think that made more sense. That building was tall, everything around it was high density, so that made sense. And to finish this whole space here with this building, parking. So I put down a lot of parking because this building is a tourist building, and we have a lot of high density commercial and a few actually a lot of residential and a few commercial around this area as well. And I thought that made sense having more options for parking here. So that's also my way of not end up doing what I did in other areas, where I completely overlooked the parking issue, and then we end up like having to put all those pre-made buildings, not actually thinking about this before we built the area. So here I am learning from my mistakes a little bit and doing the work before it becomes an issue. And then I did some detailing in there as well, just trying to find the right combination of curbs in there in the trees that I want to put down. And I think this will work it quite well. And then I just took that as my my matrix and just start copying, pasting that across this area, because usually that's how it works. They have some trees, some models, or some things that they put in the area, and you use that across the whole space, so it looks consistent. So that's what it is. And then I'm doing the final parking lot here, just to finish this up and complete all this space. I'll fill that small empty space on the left there right now, and we will build the new suburb in there, which is nice. And again, if you feel like some suburbs deserve a specific name instead of Coleridge Square, like what we're calling this right now, that was created by the game, just let me know in the comments and we can change that. I'm open for suggestions on that front as well. So I'm back now to the zoo, adding more buildings in there. And as I mentioned, yeah, we need more space in there. So I've expanded in this area. I didn't put down any zoning in there, and we will work in this area as well. And we'll cross with a small pedestrian bridge over there, which I think look quite nice in this area as well. It integrates very well there. I'll just make sure that all the pathways are all properly connected. I won't do much on the side yet, because I took a quick look at the situation of what we needed to level up again, and we had more than enough there. So I didn't want to change anything in there until we actually need it. And here I'm looking at a little bit of traffic and waiting for this area to develop, so I speed things up and made sure just that we had like a bird's eye view in this whole area, which is looking pretty good now. We changed from that grid layout into a different kind of shape for the farming area on the other side of the highway, and I think the transition there made a lot of sense. And also I'm adding an exit for the highway in here, because there is a lot of trucks that were leaving the highway through the roundabout that we had, and that was getting pretty busy, and I don't think we need that in that roundabout. It was busy as it is, and I think this will save us a lot of time there. And we level up again on the zoo, but I didn't put down any other building yet. I think I'll do that on a next episode, just so we don't do too much on this one, because this was a pretty big area already. And we level up on the forestry industry as well, so I'm just adding this large wood chip factory or something like that, and just make sure that we have enough workspace available in there for our to grow a little bit more, because I really wanted to level up our industries to level 5. Let's wish for the better there. Then I'm just taking a look at all the statistics in there, just to make sure that we have a proper noise pollution in the area, everything is alright. It's not affecting any of our um, residential area, or traffic is pretty good. There was a little bit of traffic uh, in the service area, which we will be back in a second, just to take a look at that and do a quick fix, which I managed to fix as well. But look at the bus getting into that building. We have a bus stop in there, so it just stopped at the bus stop, people getting out. And yeah, even the parking lot is still like pretty empty on this side. The other side of the parking lot has a lot of cars, but I think this will get pretty busy as we go. This is the view from the zoo, and I like this underpass here for all the pedestrians. I think this looks quite good. There's a lot of zoos and parks that I know of that have like these main roads or ramps or even highways going through them, and they just use that as a feature, so you go around or above or underneath as we are going here to use the land and all the what's in there in our favor, and I quite like that as well. And a quick view on our new statue. It's I can't remember the name of this statue, but again, this is one of the requirements for the space elevator. And if you look at the game, it's in the game. You don't need anything from the workshop, so it's pretty easy to find. And I love how we have a lot of tourists in here already, and this is looking pretty cool as well as this area develops. And I like the trams going through there as well, which gives us easy access to the zoo over there. We have the entrance there, just crossing the road. So this is fantastic. I really like that. And now we are going back to just making sure that I had all the giveaways set up in there, which I haven't before. So just making sure that we've done that. And here is where we had the traffic for people to access that avenue. And what I ended up doing here was actually, as you can see, this is pretty busy because they are just waiting, and this area is busy because of all the garbage trucks. So I made that road on the right side just a one-way road, and I think I did this one on the center of the screen one-way road as well to get into the avenue, and the other one to get out. So I'm just thinking and observing a little bit here on how the traffic behaves, and then what I will do, I'll just make sure that I will update this properly, and obviously going on the right way there, and removing the traffic lights there, actually adding the giveaway sign because we already had removed. Using this tool to just make each lane going to their own side, so that helps us splitting up the traffic. And I like that we are updating these roads because I actually like these roads with the trees more, and I think they brighten up the area a little bit instead of using these old industrial roads that we have here. So I quite like that. And yeah, with these two really small changes, this will start to flow a lot better, and the traffic is magically gone from there. So we're still at 83, 84, sometimes goes down to 80%, especially when you have more than one game in the week. And so that area next to the university gets pretty busy. But apart from that, everything is looking much better there. So I'm just waiting a little bit here to make sure that everything is working and that the traffic is actually flowing. So on the right side, we don't have the traffic anymore. And now, as you can see on the left side, it's finishing, almost not backing up anymore. I'll just do one more change here that I just noticed, which is asking them to choose their lane before that point, because I don't want them changing lanes just at that corner, because this is not something that we want next to a junction. Then there we go, we just level up on the zoo, as I mentioned. Yeah, but I'll just wait a little bit here and you'll see that the traffic will start flowing again after I did that small change. It had just to readjust, but as you can see, it's starting to move. And yeah, this is pretty cool, I guess. And oh, and that is just this line that doesn't make sense anymore, because we changed they can't turn right there anymore, so I just add one to turn left. So guide line in there for that. And I just noticed that there is another one wrong, but I'll change that later off camera. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really hope you all enjoy this episode. And we now have 72,000 people, almost there for our space elevator. And I'll leave you guys here with this little McDonald's McCafe at the corner of our zoo. And please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And have an awesome day. Bye bye.